Good morning, Chelsea fans worldwide. Welcome to yet another video of Chelsea India Roars, and the day has come. This is the day. This is the day we have all been anticipating. We have been waiting for this particular day to come for a really long time, especially after the draws of the Champions League. I did a video just after those draws, and I immediately knew there was something very similar to the 2012 season. I did get my predictions slightly wrong. I was thinking it would be a Chelsea Bayern repeat, but I didn't know if Bayern would fold that easy. But having said that, Chelsea Manchester City is a very similar game, wherein City is like the overwhelmingly favourites, Chelsea is the underdogs. Very similar to how 2012 was. No one gave Chelsea a real reckoning in 2012, and we beat Bayern in Munich. And I think it's a pretty similar story here in what was this particular year against City. But honestly, if I have to compare, because I really like, even though it's been 9 years, but I remember the 2012 game very clearly, because I think it was a memorable day, not just for me, for all of us in the Chelsea club in Bangalore. I remember it was one of the first of its kind, the overnight screening that we hosted in Bangalore. I think we collaborated, a couple of our guys who still lead the Chelsea India initiatives in Bangalore. Like, it was the first kind of screening that we had, and I remember by the end, the event was closing down. The cops came in. They literally had to like close down that pub. I think we were doing that in Extreme Sports Bar in Bangalore, and we literally saw John Terry and Lampard lifting the trophy in a very small TV, in a portable TV. They like shut down the screen, shut down the cabinet, all those things, and there was a small TV and a lot of Chelsea fans standing there. Now we finally saw that the presentation. I also remember a lot of Manchester United fans came dressed up in German jerseys and Bayern jerseys to show their support for Bayern Munich. Crazy days, crazy times. But honestly, if I have to evaluate both these squads, the squad from 2012 versus the squad now, very honestly, I cross my heart, I feel much more confident going into the game today than what I was in 2012. And I'll tell you the reasons. The reason being, a lot of those players who were part of the 2012 squad were almost approaching the twilight of their careers. They literally had some two or three more years left in them when they approached that game in Munich. So likes of Drogba or Lampard or Terry or Ashley Cole, Petacek, all big legends, iconic legends. Even though Terry didn't play the finals because he was suspended in the semi-finals, and Bertrand filled in for him. But the squad was more or less a little aged than the current squad that we have in Chelsea. And if you look at the current Chelsea squad, now I know the current squad definitely lacks the certain big game exposure or experience which our 2012 squad had, because we played a final just 3 years back in Moscow against United, where we lost. Terry slipped in the final penalty, and then Anelka missed. And but so we do lack that. Like, for a lot of our team players, the current squad, this could be one of the biggest games that they are playing. But the talent is incredible talent that we have. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount in his prime, Reece James. Oh my God, what a phenomenal season he's been having. Reece James, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Mendy at the back. So I think we have a far more better squad. We have a far more talented squad this season up against City. And the other reason is we've done a double over City. If you notice, the last two games against City, we beat them. So it's actually Guardiola's turn to think something different to come against us, right? If you see, and that has been pretty much how Tuchel's management system has been. Like, we have barely struggled against some of these big matches. So matches against Sevilla, matches against Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, City, then also some of the Premier League games against some of the big managers, like say Tottenham game, we literally dominated against Jose's side. So we have done really well with some of these big games. I think some of those mid-table games, is is something we have struggled. So say game, and I'm calling Arsenal a mid-table club. I know a lot of people won't agree, but say we struggled against Arsenal, we struggled against Leicester in the FA Cup finals, we struggled against Villa in the last game. So those have been some of the areas, but we have not struggled against those big games. So we definitely have that mental advantage against Guardiola leading up to this game, and I'm very sure Guardiola will have to come up with very something different, because Tuchel is a very prepared manager. Tuchel is a very smart manager. Tuchel, this is his second consecutive Champions League final. There's a lot of learning from that PSG loss that he suffered last year, and that makes me really confident. That makes me really confident leading up to this particular game. And I think eventually, if we go ahead and beat City for the cup, I think next season is going to be even bigger for Chelsea. With all the money coming in from the Champions League win, the kind of signings that we are looking out for, Lukaku seems to be a definite buy. I'm not sure about Haaland, but we can definitely attract some good players. We can definitely get well with the money that we are seeing. I'm not sure personally if we would want to look back at Hazard. I personally would, because I've been part of that journey. I've seen Hazard, the kind of impact and the influence that he's had on the Chelsea Football Club. So for those emotional reasons, I will take Hazard any single day, but I'm sure there are a lot of business and logical decisions which needs to be made by the board. So I don't know that, but what this will definitely give us is a big wallet that we can leverage, something similar to last season, where we brought in some really good talent. I think the few areas where we are missing, for instance, a good striker, defensive midfielder, may not be a defender, because we already have a couple of defenders on loan and also in our ranks who can come in. People like Malang Sarr, Tomori, I think is confirmed by AC Milan, so he's not coming back, but Malang Sarr can come in. He's a strong defender. But I think striker and defensive midfielder should be our two top priorities, and this Champions League victory is definitely going to help us with that particular budget. So let's see how that goes. Now, talking about the final squad, like how I would have my Chelsea squad lined up against City. So this is what my structure would be. Similar formation, 3 at the back, play with 2 wing backs, 2 defensive midfielders and 3 at top. Very similar line of attack which Tuchel has had in a lot of his successful ventures. I know Mendy is back. Tuchel said that he has trained. He seems to be injury free now, so I hope Mendy can start, and I would love to see him at the goal post, because I think honestly he's been a real revelation this season. He's been a real revelation. Even though a curtailed season for him, he joined sometimes in the middle, but I think phenomenal what I've seen from him. It would be a great boost if we have Mendy at the back. For our 3 defenders, I would have Thiago Silva and Rudiger, obvious choices, and I would really have Azpilicueta at the back. Instead of having Azpilicueta at the wing back, I would like to have Azpilicueta at the centre back, and not swap that position with Reece James, because I think we need a solid defender at the back. So I would put Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Thiago Silva as the 3 centre backs. For the 2 wing backs, I'll have Reece James and Ben Chilwell. I think that's been our successful recipe over the season, and against a final like City, I think we need wing backs who can attack and simultaneously defend, and I think both of them have very good attacking and defending qualities. So I think Reece James and Chilwell should be there in the squad, and I think that part is pretty much sorted. I don't see enough changes happening there. The only difference could be that whether Azpilicueta plays in wing back or Reece James plays at the centre back. I could see that's the only rotation, but other than that, that's a pretty permanent 5 fixture which I see. Coming to the 2 defensive midfielders for this final, and just for this particular final, I would like to see Jorginho and Kante in that position. I know a lot of people would prefer Kovacic because of the flexibility that he would also provide. It could be an open game because City would be on us throughout like the majority of the game, so having Kovacic could be very important there. And also Kovacic brings a certain match experience with his experience at Real Madrid, which is experience with Croatia. So I understand that, but I would really want to have Jorginho and Kante there for the same sort of reasons. Even though Jorginho could be slow on some of those areas with the fast midfielders in the midfield game, Jorginho could be caught out one or two occasions, but Jorginho is an impact player. Jorginho is an impact player. Like there could be some of those instances where Timo Werner is making those magical runs, and Jorginho could be that pivot who can provide those magical balls. So I think just for that shared experience, and he being the vice captain in a lot of games, he's also captain. I think for the magnitude of this game, we need that sort of a maturity, and that's why I would say my personal pick would be Jorginho and Kante. But I wouldn't mind if it's Kovacic and Kante as well, as long as there is Kante, okay? Because Kante, for us to really win this game, Kante has to have another man of the match performance. Kante is instrumental for the team. If Kante dominates tonight's game, there's no chance City is gonna catch up with us. Absolutely. So it's very important Kante to perform today and have a very good game. Now for the up three, I would go with Mason Mount, obvious choice, player of the season. I'm sure it will be in anyone's squad. I would have Hakim Ziyech. I would have Hakim Ziyech on the right wing. And the reason, because Hakim Ziyech has scored in both the previous meetings with City, so he has that mindset, he has that advantage. He's coming with a good frame of mind approaching this game, so I would have Hakim Ziyech. Also for the same reasons what I told about Jorginho, Hakim Ziyech, some of the pinging balls that he gives is incredible, and I think Hakim Ziyech and Mount would be my two attacking midfielders, and Timo Werner. And Timo Werner will be obviously for the striking option. Like even though there's so many misses that we have seen with Werner, so many challenges, so many issues that has happened with Werner in this season, there is one thing that no one can deny. That guy has some crazy pace. The amount of spaces that he creates, the amount of positions that he gets himself, like there's no other player who can get to that. Okay, a lot of the reason why Timo Werner is missing those chances, a lot of players would not even be able to create those chances. Okay, at least in the Chelsea squad, in the likes of Giroud and Tammy Abraham, no one would have been able to create those chances also in the first place, leave converting. I know like Timo Werner has an issue with conversions, but just the sheer ability to create those chances, Timo Werner has to be there. And I have my fingers crossed. Maybe today is the day he breaks that deadlock. Maybe today is the day like he's not that unlucky. He's not that offsides on some of his goals. He's just on and he gets like 2 or 3 goals. Like I just hope it's a good day for him. And because if it's a good day for him, it will be a good reflection next season as well. Like, he'll come in with a lot of confidence. So I really, really hope Timo has a wonderful, wonderful game today. And it's going to be a long game. Obviously, final, a lot of people play with that sort of restrictive mindset because no one wants to really go all out. So I don't anticipate this to be a high scoring game, not a 3-0, 4-0, not sort of that. My match prediction, honestly, is 2-1 on Chelsea's side, 2 for Chelsea, 1 for City. I also see this going in a 1-1 route. There could be a 1-1 draw and then we sort it out in the penalties. And because we also have the additional advantage of 5 substitutions, so the coaches would want to drag this game to as long as possible. So let's see how this goes. But I am very confident, I am very positive, I am buzzing. Very honestly, like in spite of all the work and everything which I've been having, this thing has been constantly there in my mind for the last 3 or 4 days, building up to this particular game. This doesn't happen that often, guys, right? As Chelsea fans, you would know, like we are experiencing this moment almost after a decade, right? 9 years. So this doesn't happen year on year. Maybe some of these players who, like, I just hope that's not the case, but some of these players who are in this current squad, they don't know when they would get this opportunity next, right? So I'm sure they would want to, they understand this, they understand the significance, the magnitude of this situation. And I was listening to some of the interviews from from Jorginho and captain Azpilicueta, and I can sense that's the feeling of the team. So I'm really excited. I also plan to or intend to do another video during the match, just before the match. I'm not sure during the match. It's going to be like 3 o'clock in the night in Singapore. That's going to be real late. So I'm not sure how much of And I really don't want to be distracted that time. I want to watch the match without much distraction. Anyways, I'll be crazy nervous that time, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do any live streaming that time. But I would want to do a collab with a couple of my buddies, maybe today evening, and get their sense that how excited they are. But do feel free, guys. Do feel free to comment if anyone is there from our old Chelsea Bangalore Alliance or Association. Do ping. It will be nice to catch up. Do come over. Like I will do a YouTube live probably in the end of the day today. But really excited, and I just hope we bring the cup again. Blue is the color. Keep supporting Chelsea, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.